Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the Perspective Positioner node. Now the Perspective Positioner node is used to kind of flatten out perspective type images for editing. So in general, if we need to edit anything that's on a perspective, say paint or do any paint, whether it's something like these billboards, or say a cereal box sitting on a counter, something that's kind of off. It's a little difficult to do any paint and touch up and changes on a perspective level. So it's much easier to do it when it's flat. So the perspective positioner is used to flatten out that image. And it's also always used in conjunction with the corner positioner to bring that image back. So let's go ahead and add a perspective positioner node. And right off the bat, you see it's doing something kind of wonky. Now up here, you've got the choice of bilinear or perspective mapping types. And the bilinear is kind of an outdated way of doing it. It's just kind of here for old legacy stuff. So you're going to want to use perspective. And then right here, you have all your corner data. So if we go in this node to move and say we wanted to go around this billboard right here, we could select and start moving, but as you see, it's kind of crazy. So an easier way to work with this is to view your original footage and just move your pins. Once you kind of got them in there, then you can go ahead and view this node. And you can see these are our corners, so kind of disregard what's going on here. But this is your flattened image. And if you select your individual pins, you can move it. Now just know it's opposite. So if I move up, the image is moving down. If I move down, it's moving up, left, right. So you can reposition so everything's perfectly straight. And if you need, you can always hit Control G to bring your grid up so you can kind of see what's going on. You can also use your arrow keys. So your left, right, up and down arrow keys. And it's the same thing. Moving it up, moves it down, move it down, moves it up. So we can use these arrow keys to kind of nudge each one of these into place. There we go. So now we have a flattened image that we can work with. Now, as I said, this is always used in conjunction with the corner position node, because the corner position node is what you use to bring it back to its original state. So if we add a corner positioner, and I'm not going to connect it yet because I often have an issue with once I connect this, it's shutting down DaVinci. And it's got to do with our next requirements, which is making sure our data for these corner pins is pushed to this corner position so it knows what to do. So if I go to my perspective positioner and right click on each one of my corners, I want to publish that data. So publish, publish, and publish. So now if we go to our modifiers, you can see we have all four of those published. And then once we go to our corner position, we can go to each one. So we can go to the bottom right, right click, and connect to perspective positioner, bottom right. And go up to our bottom left, connect to perspective positioner, bottom left. Top right, and top left. So So now this is reposition it right in there. And hopefully when I connect this, it doesn't shut our program down, and we will see. And it didn't. Lovely. Now I do find it happens more often if you're doing smaller images. So say I'm doing something like, let me find an example. Something like this. And I'm trying to get in here really tiny so I can edit, say, this box. I find it often locks up when you're doing something very, very small as opposed to something larger. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you save, and save often whenever you're using these nodes in Fusion. So if we need to do any work inside this flattened image, we can go ahead and bring in, say, a paint node and input it. And we can do any paint work we want to do on here. Let's view this. And let's change our color up to something bright so we can see it. And give our person here some glasses and a nice smile. Now if we go to this, we're going to see what we did. Now you notice we don't see anything else now that we added that paint node, because obviously it gives us a transparency. So all we need to do is bring down a merge node and put our original footage in the background, our new footage to the foreground, and now we've got our updated info using the perspective, the paint, and the corner positioner nodes. So that is the perspective positioner node. I will see you in the next node breakdown.